The current consoles we have right now are the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as the Nintendo Switch. A lot of games on modern consoles will most likely end up receiving a Switch port. There's all kinds, like Mortal Kombat, Fortnite, and other games as well. But here's the problem with the Switch ports. In today's technology, we have games at which their graphics and frame rate are truly outstanding on the hardware we have. But then, the companies go, oh wait, we have to port it to the Switch, hurry! And this is what it ends up looking like. A very messed up, very ugly, downgraded port of the game. And you know who else falls into this predicament? Sonic. The Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has been on the Nintendo console since the early 2000s, that being on the GameCube. And then later on he'd be on the Wii. Sonic would have his own exclusive games on there as well, like the Storybook games and Sonic Colors. Also having specific versions of games as well from other consoles as well, like Sonic Unleashed. And then there was the Wii U era of Sonic, but we choose not to talk about that. And then that brings us up to the Nintendo Switch era. When it comes to Sonic games on the Nintendo Switch, 9 times out of 10 it ends up being a downgraded version of the other console versions of the game. Seeing the difference in Sonic Frontiers for the Switch and PS5 is like comparing OG God of War to the new. Both are fun, but one is kinda eh. While Switch versions of Sonic games are alright, I guess, seeing the drastic difference in Sonic Frontiers for Switch and PlayStation 5, for example, is just... oh boy. Now I know what you're asking. Well, Mr. Supercon, why are you talking about the Nintendo Switch and its downgraded version of Sonic games? Well, my good sir or madam, if you don't know, recently some footage from a Sega conference in Japan was leaked online and basically was showing upcoming projects that were yet to be announced, and this was dated back to 2021 of this footage. This was basically showing off what the teams from Sega had so far. Those games being a Persona 3 remake and also a new Jet Set Radio title as well, which I'm actually pretty excited for. And of course, the one everyone is losing their minds over is the Sonic Frontiers 2021 beta footage. This 16-second clip has everyone going crazy, and there's a good reason why. You see, back when the game was first showed off to us at Sonic Central in May of 2021, all we got was a CGI teaser, which didn't show or tell us anything at all about the game. All we knew was that Sonic was running in a forest and had some sort of new aura. But now, knowing that there was beta footage that they had ready to go is really interesting. And after I watched this beta footage and headbanged to that epic raw metal OST, I thought of something. Seeing the beta, Chronos, and also seeing the Gigano boss fight look way cooler, and especially this shot of Sonic opening its mouth, even the transformation effects of Super Sonic being more dramatic, I immediately started to think about something. With the final product we got, I asked one question to myself: is the Nintendo Switch holding Sonic back? Now, this is a topic I feel is now more relevant than ever, especially after this leak. After the success Sonic Frontiers had, Sonic games are now getting a higher budget, thanks to Sega, which means the quality is definitely going to be up by a lot now in the future. And with the modern power of game consoles nowadays, the Switch is very behind with the times. Just from looking at this beta footage of Frontiers, it seems like there was a huge vision for Frontiers in this. I mean, these shots right here, by comparison, it just looks so cool. Not saying what we got in the end was bad, no, far from it. I still had a very good time, and it was awesome and really epic, don't get me wrong. But I feel like after seeing this original footage of Frontiers and what was originally intended and whatnot, I feel when they tried to get this going on the Switch, it just wasn't gonna work. So they had to make some cutbacks to the game. And while I understand, I don't think this is okay. Mainly because it's sad to see a lot of potential go to waste, especially for Sonic now getting back in the right place when it comes to the games. Like the Super Sonic animation alone just looks way better in the beta, and I think a lot of other people can agree with me on this. And there is no doubt in my mind that this wouldn't be fine on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. But on the Switch, it likely just didn't go well at all. So that's where I question: is the Nintendo Switch holding Sonic back? And the answer is simply yes, it is. Think back to the 2000s. Look at Sonic Unleashed. Does this game look like it's going to go well on the Wii? No, of course not. So that's when Sega contacted Dimps and made a version for the Wii. And it still offered the same experience, but some things were changed from this version of the game to get on the run on the Wii. It was completely different gameplay wise, but the experience was overall the same. The story was still the same. It just was different gameplay wise just to be built for the Wii. I get that a game like Frontiers wouldn't work with a specific version for the Switch. I don't know how they could have worked around it, but I do think for future titles this should be a consideration, mainly because with Sonic games going up in quality, the Switch isn't going to be able to handle it. I'm not saying that Sega should stop putting Sonic games on Nintendo consoles. No, they are not going to. The Switch is where Sonic really sells at. It's where most of the big numbers come from when it comes to Sonic games. So what I feel like needs to be considered for the future of Sonic games, and that is maybe it's time we don't have the current Sonic game release on everything. I feel like if Sonic games are going to reach their full potential, it's time we no longer let the Switch hold Sonic back. After seeing some of the things that had to be cut from Frontiers, which I guarantee is heavily due to the Switch, it's time we no longer let the Switch hold Sonic back. Sega needs to contact Dimps and get them to make a specific version of this Sonic game for future titles and have it be specifically released for the Switch to get an own version of. Now them doing this is very highly unlikely because Sega wants that Nintendo money, and honestly it's a miracle Sonic Team is even getting a higher budget now. But I feel like if Sonic Team's only problem would be just to focus on the current consoles and not have to worry about a Switch version of their new Sonic games, I feel like future Sonic titles might end up being living to their full potential and would no longer be held back by the Switch. Anyways guys, that is the end of today's video today. I want to know your all's thoughts on this Sonic Frontiers beta getting leaked. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it looks better than the final game, or do you think the final game looks better than the beta for some reason? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, I love you all. I will see you all in the next one. Anyways guys, take care.